So one really common question when it comes to Google Ads is how long do they actually take to work? Now, to answer this question, this is assuming a couple of things. Number one, you have to make sure that the campaign is actually built properly and being optimized properly. And you also need to make sure that the math kind of maths. There's a lot of industries where cost per click is way out of whack and the cost per lead is just not sustainable for your industry. But if those two things check out, then you should be good. Now, in terms of how long things actually take, I'm going to give it a short answer and a long answer to this. The short answer is, and this is the expectation that I set for any of my clients, is that you want to give Google Ads at least 90 days to get data, to optimize, and get things actually kind of working at a better level for your business. Now, the longer answer to that question is I typically split it up into a handful of phases. So the first phase, you're going to have kind of the initial 1 to 2 weeks, and month one, you're not really going to see a lot the first month. The reality is those first couple of weeks, Google's learning a lot. It's kind of going through learning phases, and there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes that it is just not, you're not going to see much for the first 2 weeks. You're literally just gathering data, and the first month is really just gathering as much data as possible, seeing what's working, seeing what's not working, and that's going to give you the opportunity to actually start to optimize your campaign. Beyond that, months 2 and 3, that's when you start getting into a rhythm with everything, so you can actually start to kind of compound optimizations on top of each other. And the more and more you do this, the more changes you make, the more optimizations you make, the better your cost per lead is going to be, the better that cost per lead gets, the more leads you ultimately generate from your campaign. So, assuming everything's set up properly, everything's optimized properly, assuming the cost per click versus cost per lead works for your business, and everything is being, optimized regularly, typically I say 90 days is the minimum timeline I would say, but it doesn't stop there. You want to keep optimizing your campaign, you want to keep improving it, because the goal with Google Ads is obviously to get it profitable, but it's a whole other conversation when it comes to keeping it profitable over the long term, keeping it on the right track. So, like I said, long story short, 90 days minimum, but it's a process. You have to keep putting work into it to make sure your Google Ads campaign is profitable for the long term.